15 signs he is a sociopath. Believe it or not, 1 out of 25 people is thought to be a sociopath, which is a person who exhibits antisocial characteristics and has absolutely no conscience. If you're in the early stages of your relationship, chances are you haven't noticed your new guy's true nature because, on the surface, sociopaths are super hard to spot. They're not really like they're portrayed on TV shows or in movies, totally evil people with no empathy or emotions. While some sociopaths definitely fall under that category, most don't. In fact, many sociopaths blend into society. Almost seamlessly. Which is scarier, right? They're often thought to be smart, well-spoken and charming. But they're charming in a super creepy and manipulative way. They have a magnetic energy which causes people to flock to them. But the thing about sociopaths is that they're not as masterful as they think they are. And sometimes, they do things that trigger your built-in warning system. AKA your gut. As time goes on, you'll start to realize that the qualities that drew you to them in the first place are just cover-ups for more sinister aspects of their personality. By then, you're already in too deep. Here are 15 signs that he might be a sociopath. 15. He's got a huge ego. Does your boyfriend have a huge ego? Like, a really, really big one. An ego that almost seems like he's overcompensating for other things. If he does, this is a huge red flag. Sociopaths think that they are much better than the average person. In their own eyes, they're perfect individuals who are better than everyone else. They also aren't great at hiding their egos, although you might think that they are super confident so you might not even notice at first. They don't like to be challenged and they think that they're always right. Things will be fine as long as you don't challenge them, but the moment that you do, you can expect them to turn on you. With sociopaths, there will definitely be hierarchies in the relationship and you will always come last. Every single time. If you ever try to expose them to your social circle, they will show you no mercy during their smear campaign against you. 14. He psychoanalyzes you. Sociopaths are methodical creatures. They only prey on people that they believe that they can manipulate. If you're confident, you would be a nightmare girlfriend for a sociopath. A sociopath might psychoanalyze you in order to spot your weaknesses. They'll ask you questions that don't seem to fit in normal casual conversation in an effort to squirm their way into your thought processes. Since most people don't just spill their guts to new people, they might tell you intimate details about their life in order to get you to trust them so you feel comfortable with them. If they can open up to you, then you can open up to them, right? Once they determine that you're a viable candidate, they will get you to tell them all of your desires and dreams so that they can mold themselves into that person. But only temporarily. Once they prove that they can serve your needs, they use that trust against you. It's way harder to realize that you're being emotionally abused by someone that you trust because you don't feel that they would ever hurt you. 13. He lies for zero reason. Everyone tells little white lies from time to time, usually to avoid hurting people or to cover up small mistakes. Sure, it's not super attractive, but hey, it's human nature. Sociopaths, on the other hand, are notorious for being pathological liars. They get tremendous joy out of twisting the truth so much until it's no longer recognizable. Not only do they lie at an alarming rate, the lies are always outlandish and grandiose, as they are connected to their inflated sense of self. It's like a twisted game to them. They lie to people to see how much they can get away with and just for the hell of it. The lie doesn't have to serve a purpose. The lie is the purpose. It's just what they do. Over times, the lies will bleed into each other until they can't be untangled anymore. And no matter how much you confront them, they will keep digging a larger hole with more lies. They are incapable of being honest. 12. They have no friends or family. You may have been drawn to your boyfriend, but if he's a true sociopath, then your relationship will not last. First, their victim eventually wises up to who they really are and leaves. Or the sociopath simply gets tired of them. To sociopaths, people are as disposable as tissue paper. When someone is no longer complying with their needs or is no longer interesting, they discard them without a second thought. Think of it as a numbers game. Why would they focus on only one person when they can spread their victims around? Another reason that a sociopath might not have any close friends or family is because they might have let them get too close, in turn, revealing their true identity. And they keep them away so that they can't expose them. Just think. If this person is so charming and a perfect person, then you must ask yourself, why are they alone? Why haven't they been able to maintain any lasting relationship, romantic or otherwise? If something doesn't add up, you probably need to reevaluate your relationship. 11. He's too charming. When most people describe their ideal partner, charming lands somewhere on the list. But you should definitely out for guys who are almost too charming. You know, those guys whose energy is so magnetic and addicting that you wonder how you will ever live without them. Trust, it's all an act and the facade will not hold up forever. No one is perfect, yet a sociopath will try really hard to convince you that they are. This isn't for your benefit, though, it's for theirs. They will use their charm to gain trust and manipulate their victims into submission. Then, once you let your guard down, they pounce on you during your vulnerable state. To the outside world, the sociopath will be seen as someone who wouldn't dare commit such acts. They're often respected, intelligent members of society and might even hold positions of authority. It's hard to go up against someone like this because their manufactured reputation precedes them, which will, in turn, make your account of what really happened harder to accept. 10. He loves excitement and gets bored easily. Like the people that they sink their claws into, sociopaths are never satisfied with anything for long. They're always moving from place to place after the initial thrill wears off so they can experience the feeling of new again. This is because they experience boredom on a more intense level than most people and will do anything to fill it. Small, meaningful moments spent with family and friends that would satisfy most people don't satisfy sociopaths. A night at the movies or a Broadway show will feel like sleeping to them. They don't enjoy company with others and oftentimes find that they don't feel like pretending. Being something that you're not gets exhausting, even for sociopaths. Instead, they choose to seek new, adrenaline-inducing activities like skydiving, or race car driving. Life is made up of small moments but, for sociopaths, much of it is unappreciated. What cannot fit into the box of dangerous, risky, thrilling, or otherwise isn't worth their time. 9. He cheats. Sociopaths cheat not because they want to sleep with someone or they are mad at you. They cheat only because they can. Because they aren't able to form emotional bonds with people, they have no problem stepping out on relationships. And when they get caught, they'll lie. They'll convince you up and down that you're actually the problem and that you don't know what you're talking about. Aside from the obvious emotional trauma, this vicious cycle will cause you. It's also very dangerous to your physical health for obvious reasons. Unlike a regular person who might cheat, a sociopath doesn't care if they expose you to possibly deadly diseases. All that matters is that their needs are fulfilled. Likewise, sociopaths are usually amazing in bed and you might feel electric chemistry with them, but you'll soon realize that they don't care about your pleasure at all. They're all about themselves. 8. He doesn't follow rules. Sociopaths believe that the rules don't apply to them because they think they're above the law, social constructs, pleasantries and anything else that other people follow without even thinking. Those things are a complete waste of time to them so they pretty much ignore them. They feel there's nothing that they can't do and they feel that they get away with everything. That's why so many criminals are identified as sociopaths. A regular person might weigh the pros and cons of a decision before doing something awful, but sociopaths get off on the thrill of living by their own rules. They feel that they are invincible, so they commit reckless acts without even giving it a second thought. Oftentimes, because they're not as untouchable as they think, they'll eventually end up caught or in jail. Rules are not fun to follow, but any civilized society needs rules in order to function. Most people know and accept this. Sociopaths don't. If someone just doesn't believe in order and doesn't think rules apply to them, they may be a sociopath, and you should totally steer clear. 7. He's entitled. Sociopaths are the most entitled bunch of people on the planet. Everything exists solely for their pleasure and is theirs to take in their minds. They don't feel the need to work for things because they already see it as their natural born right. That's why they steal and lie and scheme their way through life. The means it takes to get their ends matters not. All that matters is that their desires are filled. You could be the most giving person in the world, but they won't appreciate it. As far as they're concerned, you're simply giving them what already belongs to them. Why would they appreciate it? As a matter of fact, they want to know why did you have it in the first place. That's why it's impossible to please them. They already possess or have the power to possess everything, so why on earth would they ask for it? They deserve it, though they did not work for it. 6. He changes a lot. Everyone should be able to adapt to their surroundings. However, someone who is able to completely change their core persona on a whim could definitely be a sociopath. Though sociopaths come from all walks of life and have jobs in all industries, inside all sociopaths are the same. Cold and methodical people without souls and without any ability to empathize with anyone other than themselves. But of course, since those are negative qualities, no one would like someone like that. That's why sociopaths put on different personas. If during your vetting period, they realize that you like someone with a sense of humor, they'll morph into the funniest person that you've ever met. Or, if you need someone to balance your structured life, they might pretend to be that person. After they're done with you, they'll reset themselves, in a sense, to become whatever the next person wants them to be. 5. He's not empathetic. In order to fit in with those around him, a sociopath will try to emulate empathic behavior that they have seen in others. At first, you won't notice that their actions aren't sincere. If a small problem arises, they'll be able to successfully be there for you. If you're sad, they'll console you and you will feel loved and cared for. But only in that moment. However, if a major tragedy occurs, they will have a harder time convincing you that they actually care. They don't have the ability to empathize with others, so their attempts will come across as forced or awkward. Also, sociopaths don't care about your feelings. Sociopaths are only out for their own needs and concerns. So, you can bet that if they're acting like they care, it's because they're getting something out of it, whether it's your trust, money or sleeping with you. They only do what will benefit them in the end. Every single time. 4. He has no remorse. Sociopaths never feel bad about anything they've ever done. Remorse is an emotion that they just can't relate to, along with sadness, guilt, grief or anything else that a normal person experiences. That's why they can tear people's lives apart without a second thought. That's the reason that building someone up is so satisfying to them. The higher they can build someone up, the harder they will crash and burn. Their victim's downfall will be the ultimate reward and they don't care what they have to do to experience it. Their lack of emotions, aside from rage, is essential to their plans. Just think. If they had the normal limitations of a conscience, they wouldn't be able to stand themselves. Their lack of remorse gives them free range to wreak havoc on anyone that they see fit. They possess no more respect or value for people than they would an inanimate object. To them, we're all puppets to be used, messed with and, eventually replaced with someone more desirable. Our feelings are our own faults and have nothing to do with their actions and words. 3. He has soulless eyes. Have you ever looked into someone's eyes and you just felt that they weren't really present or living in the moment? Like the lights were on but there was nobody home. That's a telltale sign that you might be dealing with a sociopath. If you can relate to this, then your new BF might be a sociopath, unfortunately. He may be super charming and awesome when he knows that he's being watched, but eventually he will slip up and reveal his emotionless expressions. It's pretty creepy, to say the least. They don't feel things or have changes in mood like we do. When normal people socialize, they're aware of their surroundings and will respond to emotional stimuli as it arises. Sociopaths don't respond to anything involuntarily because, well, they have no emotional response. Everything that you see, when they appear normal, is the result of them mirroring those around them. Our eyes are really windows the soul. In this case, they might be. 2. He enjoys hurting you. Sociopaths hurt people just because they can. They're always lurking in the corners and looking for ways to break someone down. They have no moral compass or filter, can't form emotional bonds with people, and get bored super fast. With that combination, it's not surprising that they get joy from hurting others. It's their only sense of satisfaction, really. Seeing how much they can manipulate you before they discard of you. When a sociopath hurts you, they might pretend to show remorse, but it won't be genuine. It will only be to win back your trust so that they can inflict more harm on you. Manipulation is like a game. They get off on the knowledge that they were able to figure out your weakness, win your trust, and crush it in one fell swoop. Of course, normal people might also exhibit such manipulative behavior, but their consciences don't allow for them to behave like that long term. They feel bad eventually, but sociopaths, not so much. He doesn't love you and he never will. Sociopaths are incapable of feeling love for anyone other than themselves. A sociopath is cold, callous and calculating, so you'll never be able to experience real, meaningful emotions with them. Sure, they'll be able to mirror the love that you show them back to you, but it won't be real. And despite everything that tells you that love can conquer all, that's just not true. A sociopath will never, ever love you because they can't, and also they don't want to. People are pawns and just disposable pieces in their games. Your feelings and your concerns annoy them and they see you as a hindrance to their life. Think of it this way. If they keep you around, it's only to inflict emotional warfare on you. And once you stop fulfilling their needs, they're going to be done with you. The only person they can and will ever love are themselves. You can't beat them and they will never waver. The only thing that you can do is get far, far away and never look back. Looking for an AD-free experience on the Taco. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more videos.